Oh, everybody, guess what? We're talking Superman. So excited because we are beginning our series on Road to Superman. And to start off, we're going to talk about All-Star Superman. As Mike told me, it's one of the most beloved Superman stories. And we have words today here on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
I am talking first, everybody. Good morning to you on Two Geeks and a Microphone. Hey, we're so glad that you guys are here with us today. Mike and I are going to talk some Superman, and we're glad that you are here with us for the journey.
Bum, bum, ba-da, bum, 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 ba-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da.
I have to admit, when you first started off, that's bum bum ba bum bum ba bum ba bum ba bum.
I don't know. Part of that might work.
Right? Well, we're excited here. I am Stephen Boster, your co-host, along with the one, the only, the one who I always say is the most beardiest because it's a beautiful beard, Mr. Mike Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
Well, it's going to be a good day today, everybody. We're glad that you're here with us. Please make sure you comment in the comments. We love to have your interactions and just kind of hanging out with us. And so with that, I just want to say, Mike, is there anything else we need to do on our intro for Superman, or should we just hit it with the geeky news?
Well, I mean, this is our road to Superman, as we're calling it.
Yes.
So it's our build up to the new Superman movie. Oh gosh, James Gunn movie. Why could I not think of James Gunn's name? So yeah, and we decided to pick some, I guess in a way, okay, this is considered like the pivotal Superman story. At least that's what I've been told for many, many years. I had not read it until we just read it this past week or two. And then next week we are hitting up on Man of Steel, which is a very controversial Superman movie. I look forward to, I might try and chime in, but I'm going to be camping next week. But Stephen and Joffrey are going to be discussing Man of Steel, and I'm looking forward to that conversation because I personally like Man of Steel. But hey, and then we are going to do the new Superman movie, and we've been talking about maybe doing some Superman stuff afterwards. So
yes,
so that's it. We are officially on the road to Superman. Or is this the road to Krypton? Maybe that's a bad idea. Krypton explodes. So
right.
Anyway.
We will find out. Yeah. So I am interested because, Superman's one of the most beloved comic book heroes and movie franchises, around, as well as Batman. I see those two as the pivotal foundations to all of DC Comics. I mean, some people will throw Wonder Woman in there. Maybe.
Well, she's part of the DC Holy Trinity, so.
Right. Yeah, but I've never considered her as popular as Superman and Batman.
I don't think she's as popular, but she's just as important as the other two characters, in my opinion. Now, maybe in the 70s.
Oh.
The Wonder Woman TV show, because come on.
Wonder Woman!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, spin around. Do your spinny thing.
We all loved watching Linda Carter, so.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't Run, Forrest. It was Run, Wonder Woman, Run.
That's for sure. did
my
like the
goodness.
Wonder Woman TV show.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But I was
Yes.
what? I don't know, 8 years old. I don't know, something like that. I don't remember when that came out. It's
That's right.
sometime in the 70s. So
Yeah.
I was
Boys will be
pretty young.
boys. Yes.
Yes,
It was.
that's right.
Yeah.
And it was our formative years. All right, you ready to jump into some geeky news? Because I got a little bit.
I love it. Let's do it. All right. Time for our geeky news. Go for it.
All right, so I'm trying to stay Superman centric here, and yesterday I was watching the news. I generally watch the news in the mornings before I go to work to catch weather and traffic and so on and so forth. And every once in a while they have some really good stories. Every once in a while they have sucky stories. Yesterday was an interesting story because we have 4th of July coming up, and should I
You
put
want
up
to show it? I can do it. Here we go.
And they showed on the news that last month, I missed this, but apparently James Gunn posted on X this poster, St. Louis Look Up, and it shows Superman and Krypto sitting on top of a building looking over the arch. Now, I don't know what building they're sitting on top of because that would be on the east side.
That is correct.
At St. Louis there. But anyway, I guess you just take that with a grain of salt. But yeah. I thought it was cool that James Gunn posted this because apparently, and I didn't know this, James Gunn is a St. Louis native, and I had no idea that. So he has ties to here. And then I found this article because they also said along with that, that St. Louis, during our 4th of July celebration, fireworks celebration, we are going to have a Superman display, which I thought was pretty cool. So according to this article, Riverfront fireworks on 4th of July are quintessential to the summer in our city since 1981. Celebrate St. Louis, formerly Fair St. Louis, has marked Independence Day with live music, fireworks, and other entertainment. This year's festivities will feature headline performers Russell Dickerson, Gavin DeGraw, I don't know who they are, alongside a newly decided 21st Century Element, a drone show. This is where it comes in.
A drone show. Okay.
Celebrate St. Louis has always been a hometown tradition, and this year we are proud to bring exciting new experiences to the riverfront, said Tim Mears, chairman of the Celebrate St. Louis, in a release announcing this year's programming. We're especially looking forward to honoring St. Louis native and filmmaker James Gunn with a Superman-themed drone show just ahead of the launch of his new Superman movie. So apparently we are getting a drone show here on the 4th of July. Should be pretty cool. St. Louis has partnered with Fantasy Drone Shows to bring this special edition to the holiday weekend titled Look Up. The show celebrates the long-awaited release of DC Studios' Superman, directed by James Gunn.
Sorry. I'm
What?
just laughing. I can tell that you're reading because I see the cursor across the screen keep going by as you're
really?
reading. Yeah, as you do it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry
No
about that.
apologies needed. It was just kind of funny. I was like, oh,
That
that's
is
how-
funny.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize it was doing that.
right. It was kind of think so. It's kind of funny.
Oh.
You keep going. I'm so sorry. You're talking about St.
Oh, no
Louis Look
problem.
Up, the drone show and
The
stuff.
show is scheduled for the night of July 4th, prior to the traditional fireworks, and exactly a week ahead of the movie's nationwide theatrical release on July 11th. 400 drones will take to the sky during the spectacle and arrange themselves into 11 different images related to the Man of Steel. So, and it says, beyond the fireworks and entertainment, Celebrate St. Louis also marks the holiday honoring those who served our country, which is awesome. This year, the weekend will feature hands-on with heroes exhibit. So we have that going too. That sounds pretty cool. I'm not sure I'm going to get to witness it because I usually don't go near St. Louis during 4th of July.
Oh, it's packed. So they're at the Gateway Arch. It is that week is, what was it when I was there?
It was Fair St. Louis, but they don't do Fair St. Louis anymore. They stopped doing it. Or, well, it used to be the VP Fair years ago. Yes. Probably when you were still here, it was the VP.
It was the VP Fair. Mm-hmm.
They stopped doing VP Fair, and then they changed it to Fair St. Louis. Last year, we didn't really even have Fair St. Louis. It kind of sucked. We did have a fireworks display, but they didn't have, they like to say that St. Louis is like one of the biggest 4th of July celebrations in the nation. And last year we did not live up to that whatsoever. So it sounds like we're kind of returning.
That's probably why James Gunn was there in St. Louis for the 4th of July and goes, "This sucks. I'm going to have to do something with the Superman movie to get things going on here."
Oh, that's it. James Gunn decided to come out with the Superman just to re-kickstart our 4th of July celebration. Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sure. Why not? Because I'm sure that's what James Gunn was thinking. No, but I think it sounds cool that we're going to have this drone show. So I hope somehow I get to see it, whether it's on TV or, I don't know.
I used to watch the 4th of July because I didn't want to be in downtown St. Louis because.
Oh, it's insane, man.
Yeah. At the Gateway Arch, I would say 50% of the year visitors come that week. It was huge. It was a huge amount. Yeah. Millions of people. It's like when I say millions, it's like a minimum of 1 million people are there at the Gateway. It's just bonkers. It's just wall to wall people underneath the Gateway Arch. That's how I remember it.
Well, I've been there for parades, because Megan always marched in the 4th of July parade. And normally we'd go down there, we'd watch her march. And as soon as she came by wherever we were standing, we left. We're like, let's get out of here. Try and get out of this nasty traffic and stuff like that. I have been down to the fairgrounds and stuff like that in the past, and there's fun stuff that happens there. It's neat. Food is outrageously expensive though, but then again, whose food isn't outrageously expensive nowadays? So
right, and then they add the 3% for a credit card or debit card usage.
Yeah, but then they won't take cash,
right?
Or at least that's the way it is nowadays anyway.
That's the way it seems. Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Sam. Sam says, "Hello, everyone."
Hey, Sam. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. All right. So that's my news. Very Superman and St. Louis centric today.
Nice.
I mean, I got to go with the St. Louis thing. That's my stomping ground. So
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Okay. Never mind. My mind was not working right.
That's all right. All right. Are we ready to go to Geekdar?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Go with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. It's not all he's lost.
I wonder if Michael Winslow's coming back for Spaceballs 2.
I don't know.
Because I haven't heard anything about him.
No, that'd be cool if he did, though.
No, that'd be awesome. Maybe we
does not look the same as that, though. It's so fascinating.
Maybe we can get a new clip for Geekdar then.
From Spaceballs 2.
That'd be awesome.
Give us a couple more years, everybody. Was it
right?
2027?
Yeah, 2027. And Mel Brooks will be 100 by then. All right. This first one isn't with the Superman theme, but it still falls in the DC theme. Last Saturday after the show, I went down to Fantasy, got my pull, and got the next issue.
Hush. How is it? Did you read the first one yet?
I read the first one, but that's all I've read so far. I like the first one, I'm kind of waiting to get a few issues in, and then I'll start reading them more. I like the cover though. The cover's pretty cool. Cover shows Batman kind of squatted down and holding his head, and it's just got Hush behind him over and over again. Pretty cool for those of you who are on the audio side of things. And then I had no idea this was coming, and we covered the first one. Was it last summer? And I really, really enjoyed this. So I was super excited when he pulled out my pull, and I got Godzilla versus King Kong versus the Justice League Part 2.
Right.
The second story. So I love the first one. I mean, how could you go wrong with Godzilla, King Kong, and the Justice League on top of it? I mean,
that first series was good though. Everybody, if you haven't seen our discussion on that, go back. We did do a discussion on that.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. I did not have high hopes. When we first started, I was like, really? But it actually was not bad.
I thought it was fun.
Remember each comic had a double fold layout. I mean, or a double panel layout. I mean, those were always spectacular art.
Well, in the first issue, we got the sound things, and like it had Godzilla's roar.
Oh, right.
Had a Godzilla centric cover, and then you press the thing on it, and it had Godzilla's roar. And then the other one had a Kong centric cover, and then it has Kong's roar. I loved those. That was great. I don't know if they did anything special for 2 yet. I haven't seen it, so but I was just excited because I love the whole concept of Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League. I mean, you mix superheroes and kaiju, and that brings
a wonderful thing.
Giant monsters and superheroes. Yeah.
Yes.
So I was very happy about that.
Very cool.
That's all I got for Geekdar.
All right. Well, let me share one thing real quick. I want to share with everybody. I got this book called Sketch Your Mind.
I go comic books, and then Steven goes brainy stuff.
I do, right? I'm nerding out on this. That's
cool.
For those of you who are familiar with mind mapping and stuff like that, this is a guy he has a YouTube channel. So his name is Zsolt Vixian. Is he Polish?
Is that a real name?
It is. Nice guy. And he's a real nice guy, and he does books, like visual book summaries on YouTube. And so if there's books that you're reading or something like that, a lot of them are productivity books and stuff like that. Well, he's been doing the YouTube channel for, oh my goodness, several years. And so he finally wrote a book. And so he uses, for those of you who like productivity apps, he uses Obsidian, but he created for free what he calls Excalidraw. So you can think, playing on the word Excalibur, of where it's where you can mind map within the Obsidian productivity tool. And so you can do your own productivity knowledge system. But what he's saying is his theory is our minds are more visually wired. Of course, there's now talking about comic books and storytelling with comic books, but he will go through and he says, this is how you study. This is how you train your brain, or if you're wanting to do for things. And I just started. I'm only a couple of chapters in, and it is very interesting. And you can get Obsidian for free. Like, it's a productivity management thing. You can get it for free, kind of a thing. I haven't gotten into that or his Excalibur. I want to get through his book first, but it's been really interesting. Like, how do you get all the stuff that's in your head onto paper, or in a productivity app kind of a thing and stuff? It's really fascinating. But anyway, that's my quick Geekdar. That's all I got to say about that. One more thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it is fascinating. A lot of times people are like, I got so much on my head. How do I get it onto paper? Because there's a book called Getting Things Done by David Allen. And he says our minds are made for processing, not for storage. and so it's the concept of where how do we keep things, whether we keep notebooks, those who journal and stuff and get everything on paper or into a digital app, and those two fight all the time. People in the right journal camp fight with the productivity or the digital app people and vice versa and stuff. It's funny, but then you can get it all on paper. So then when it's time to review something, review your notes, you don't have to have them stored in your mind as much as you can then review them and then let your brain process it because you've already got it down somewhere. It's really interesting.
Huh.
Sam goes, it's a real person. Challenge accepted. Hang on, give me just a minute.
I kind of agree with you, Sam. I look at that name and I'm like, that looks like a name that Timothy Zahn would have came up with.
Okay,
I'm gonna look for that name in the next Timothy Zahn novel.
Let's play a game, shall we? Oh, that's your share. Hang on a second. Let's play a game, shall we? Okay, here. Oh, look, we're live right now.
Hey, how about that?
I'll put Zolt's name in. Zolt. Here, I'll do Zolt Excalidraw. There we go. Zolt. So his website is Zolt Visual Personal Knowledge Management.
Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here though, and I'm gonna go along with Sam and still say that he may not exist. He could be AI.
He was doing this before. Here, we'll go to his website, or let's see if sometimes he pops up at the beginning. I'm using probably too much bandwidth, everybody. Aha. See, there he is. I didn't turn on the share the screen. So that's him. So it's a real person. Challenge accepted. That's awesome, Sam. Thank you for doing that. That was hysterical.
That was funny.
That was funny. That's some funny stuff right there.
All right. Let's move off with Zolt now.
Yes.
Just reminds me of something out of a fantasy novel or something. I think Sam and I are on the same wavelength.
Here goes Sam. He goes, he said I was about to say that. Oh, wait. Sam's coming back. He says, no, it's AI.
He's not buying it, man.
Oh, my gosh. You guys are cracking me
these
up.
days, you never know. Heck, we might be AI for all you know. Oh, crap, Steven. We've been taken over.
Oh, gosh. I do.
John Connor warned us of this.
That's right. That is true. Cyberdyne systems.
All right. We ready for our main event?
Yeah, that was a great laugh. Thank you, Sam. That was awesome. Thank you. All right, here we go, everybody. At some point. It's not going. Why is it not? There it goes. It's time for the main event.
I'll bet I know why it's doing that. You didn't prime them before we went live this time.
No, I did prime them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
you must have done that when I was making my coffee then.
I was. Yeah, I primed them all. So everybody, what we're talking about is one thing that we've noticed with we use EVMUP. So we are liking it, actually. And you can create scenes.
Yeah, it's good.
And so what we notice is that sometimes when we go live and we haven't pre-played like our intros or our segment sections, that it will stall a little bit, and sometimes Mike won't see it at all on his end. And so I realized that we had to prime it, or we play it before the show as we're in the room, and then it works just fine. What was happening was I was hitting the select off the scene, but it was bringing up the settings of each scene.
Oh.
Just then, I was over by 1/4 of a centimeter. I was hitting the wrong button.
Oh, okay. Well, that's some behind the scenes of our production.
Hey, we're open and sharing, everybody. And hey,
all right.
Anybody out there, if you're curious about starting your own podcast or something like that, we talk with folks all the time.
Mhm.
just about our journey. Just here's what we do. Here's what we use. Here's our story. We don't try to tell you you should do this or do that. We just share with you what we've done. And if it works for you, great.
and
And all.
and the things that we've worked for us and that we like.
Yeah. I'm surprised
All
we're
right.
not an affiliate with Podbean. We are an affiliate with Podbean. We do have Podbean
I think we
affiliate.
do have. I think so.
Just go to our website, everybody, and then click the affiliate link. Yes, we do get a little bit, but nothing much. But if you really want to do a podcast, audio podcast, we love Podbean. So you just click the Podbean link picture, and then it'll take you to the website. And
Podbean's the one that we have been with since day one.
that's correct.
We switched video streaming stuff.
We won't say how many times though.
Yeah, a few times. But when it comes to the podcast, the audio side of it, Podbean has been the only one. So, yes, I highly recommend Podbean. I recommend it to anyone who's starting a podcast. So, and I've started recommending EV Mugs too.
And it's only $9 a month for Podbean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you pay $100 a year for it, and
they help you get connected to all of the major podcast distributors.
Yeah. And the nice thing about it is you can, it's unlimited. Like we noticed a lot of podcast services only give you so many hours a month kind of a thing. And we could podcast for an hour every day and it wouldn't matter.
Yep. It's great.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
All-Star Superman.
Superman.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, sorry. Just get it. See, it's the same rhythm at the beginning.
Anyway, All-Star Superman, I have always been told this is like Harold is one of the greatest Superman stories ever told.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wanted to read it. I actually wanted to watch the animated movie, but I couldn't find it where I didn't have to pay for it.
Oh, right. I'm right there with you.
I didn't want to pay for it. I was really upset that
Max?
Max didn't have it. I was like, come on. I mean, we're going into the Superman movie. Why don't you have this one on there? Because everyone claims this is like the Superman story.
And for that very reason, because they want people to pay more.
I guess
by the way, did you see that Max is going back to HBO Max this summer?
I didn't. Oh, they haven't done it yet.
They haven't done it yet. But
I was going to say, I hadn't seen the change on my Apple TV yet. So
yeah, no,
I was wondering.
But notice the ads. When you see the ads for Max, any show that they do, and at the end it goes, Max is becoming HBO Max this summer.
It should say again.
Right, again.
Because they were already HBO Max. I mean,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, how many times are they going to do this? Right. Anyway, so All-Star Superman. I got some notes here on it. Release dates is the series was published as a 12 issue comic book series. Now, these dates could be wrong. I don't know. November of 2005 to October of 2008. Correct me if that's because it seems weird. A 12 issue series seems like it should just be from 2005 to 2006, but
yeah.
But that seems like they spread it over 2 years, 3 years. That just seems like an awful long time for 12 comics. So I'm taking.
Yeah, but tell everybody what you told me before the show.
I don't remember. What did I tell you? I was saying that if it was Jim Lee doing it, it could possibly span that long because Jim Lee is notorious for turning everything in late. So, yeah. But Jim Lee was not involved in this. This is Grant Morrison. So, and as far as I know, he turns things on in time. And the funny thing is, Grant's almost as big a name as Jim, but I guess when you're as big as Jim, you could do whatever the heck you want. So,
right.
Anyway, later collected into 2 volumes in 2007 and 2009, and then a complete absolute edition in 2010.
Yeah.
The creators are
that quote. Just before you go anywhere, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I want to tell you, I want to confirm for you, based upon the DC fan database. So dc.fandom.com, All-Star Superman 12 is an issue of the series of All-Star Superman Volume 1 with a cover date of October 2020. Cover date is October 2008. So let's confirm the no, that's volume 1.
I think they might have done some new ones this year too. Just because of the release of the new movie and stuff.
All-Star Superman was 2006 to 2008, according to the DC database, the fandom database.
There you go. Wow, that seems like a long time for 12 issues.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, weird. I mean, what did you do? I guess maybe 4 issues a year then?
Possibly.
Wow. Man, I can't. That just blows my mind. Why not just knock them out every month? Anyway, so the creators are, writer is Grant Morrison, of course. Artist is Frank Quietly. I'll get into his art a little bit. Inker colorist is Jamie Grant, and letterer is Phil Belsman and Travis Lanham.
Who did you say it was inked by?
By Jamie Grant.
Jamie Grant. Oh no, and then after that you said letterers. Is that like much more betterer?
That is what it says. Letterers. So yes, maybe betterer is a real word then. Maybe our grammar isn't as off as we thought. All right, you want me to go through the basic plot?
Yeah, that'd be great. I think it's good to let everybody know kind of what the story's about.
All right, so this is the premise. The story begins with Lex Luthor orchestrating a daring sabotage of a scientific expedition to the sun. Superman intervenes, saving the scientist, but in doing so, he absorbs a fatal overdose of solar radiation. This overexposure supercharges his cells to an unprecedented degree. See, folks, this is the reason I didn't read my own book.
You're so funny.
Because I trip over my own tongue. But it also begins a process of cellular decay, effectively giving him 1 year to live.
Yeah.
But yeah, DC spanned it over 3.
Wait. Speaking of that, here's what Sam says. He said, I always thought the issue should be produced well in advance and then released monthly.
I highly agree with you, Sam.
Well, I think that goes back. Do you remember how we were talking last week when we were talking about Spaceballs 2? And you made the comment if it was too late to do it. You know what I mean?
I still wonder if that's true.
I think that's the same premise, the same concept. When you space it out so much, if the later comics kind of lose their, if you release them over that long distance of a time, people kind of like forget about it or they're not as interested in it. Well, I'll wait till we start talking about the comic stories, but yeah, sure. Keep going. Sorry. Thanks, Sam. That was good insight.
Yes, it was. Key arcs and characters. So we have Lois Lane. Of course, we're going to have Lois Lane in a Superman story. Superman reveals his identity to Lois and grants her his powers for 24 hours with a super serum on her birthday, allowing her to experience the world as he does. I actually like that part of the story. I thought that was fun.
It was. Agreed.
Lex Luthor, and we'll have to talk about that a little bit. Lex Luthor, of course, you can't have a Superman story without Lex. He's imprisoned, grappling with his hatred and envy of Superman, eventually gaining his own temporary powers and fleeting glimpse into Superman's perspective, leading to a profound, albeit temporary, transformation. I liked Lex for the most part in this too.
It was good how it tied in at the beginning with this whole thing of being at the sun, kind of, that whole concept and how he was a part of it. And then there was kind of a weird part in that, but it's like, whatever,
Yeah.
You didn't have to go into too much detail with it. Like, how'd this guy get there? He was trying to remote control a creature that was on the ship, supposedly helping them, but only to realize he was there to destroy Superman or whatever.
Comic book stuff, man.
It was classic comic book stuff. I was like, I don't know where this is coming from, but all of that was a good setup to the aspect of he had to go to the center of the sun, and that getting exposed to all that radiation that actually fuels him, kind of started how do they put it? His body couldn't take it. And so his cellular degeneration started happening because it was just like an overloaded circuit.
Yep.
Kind of a thing.
That's a great description right there. Overloaded circuit. I like that. Next we have the Bizarro World. I like the Bizarro World. I don't know if I like the art style in it, but I love the Bizarro World.
Did you? I didn't like the art style. I agree with you. I struggled in that section.
See, I like Bizarro. I find Bizarro.
It was good. Again,
I like Batmite, and people hate Batmite too. So.
There's no such thing as Batmite.
There are better versions. What did you say?
There's no such thing as Batmite. I refuse to accept that there's Batmite.
Batmite's been around a lot longer than AI.
Of which my friend Zolt is one of them.
Right. There you go.
I got you. That was a good one. I got you. Okay.
Anyway, Bizarro World. Superman visits Bizarro World, a cube-shaped planet populated imperfect mirror image versions of himself and the Earth inhabitants, including the tragic Zibaro.
I did like Zibaro.
Yeah, Zibaro's kind of cool.
It was interesting. It was very interesting. There was an emotional link to that character.
Mm-hmm.
It was really interesting how it was written. I will concur. I agree. Yeah.
Next is the Kryptonian survivors. Okay. How many last surviving Kryptonians are we going to get? You know, it's like I feel Superman. We always get this. Well, he's the last son of Krypton. Oh wait, here's two more people. Oh wait, here's another one. Oh wait, here's a monster. Oh wait, here's this. I'm starting to wonder if Krypton didn't get destroyed. Maybe they just sent Superman away because they didn't like him. We got to get rid of this kid.
Right.
There's something wrong with him. Let's just shoot him off to Earth. Send him there. Because it seems like Krypton's just come out of the woodwork, you know? They're like freaking termites. Anyway, so two Kryptons, Bar-El and Lilo. Lilo? Anyway, emerge from a rocket believing they are the last of their kind. Well, of course they do. But their physiology is imperfect for Earth's environment. And then we have the sun and the future. Superman engages with the sun itself, learns about its consciousness, and prepares for his ultimate destiny. The story culminates in a powerful redemptive act. And then the themes. The series explores what makes Superman truly super beyond his powers. His unwavering hope, compassion, empathy, ingenuity, and his role as a symbol of humanity's potential. It's a celebration of the Silver Age optimism of Superman, but with a modern, profound depth. It redefines his iconic status, distilling him to his core most essential elements. I mean, yes, I agree that it's hopeful. Well, it's sort of hopeful because we get the impending doom of Superman all the way through it.
Yeah, because I mean that was the overarching aspect of it,
right?
Was because every comic kind of kept coming back to he's going to be dead soon, kind of a thing, and he was trying to do right, and he wanted to make sure he took advantage of different things, and yeah, it was really interesting.
But I guess the unwavering hope is the hope at the end that there is a possibility that Superman could return. Imagine that. Or, the future might hold something else, which kind of looked like they were going to clone.
That was interesting. I thought that was, yeah. So there's all these future Supermen and I was like, oh no, there's this one scene, everybody, where there's these other Supermen that come to help him fight a fifth dimensional monster. And And I was like, oh, it's Mitchellplex, kind of going it. But no, it's the
It did
Fifth
look like
Dimensions.
Mitchellplex.
But
Yeah.
it was the Fifth Dimensions version, Superman version, and not there was to mix. So that was kind of nice. And then
Mitchellplex is from the Fifth Dimension.
yeah.
So I mean, I guess it could be argued that it's Mitchellplex, or however the heck you say his name.
Everybody from the Fifth Dimension looks the same.
Well, they all look very similar.
No, that monster didn't look. The monster
didn't.
Fifth Dimension.
You should read the storyline of Batmite in
you just had to get that in. That's awesome.
Damn right, I did. There's a whole story there's a whole storyline between the Batman and Superman comic book I'm reading. What is it? I can't think of the title, but anyway, they have a storyline with the all the imps, okay, and they're coming. Batmite and Mitchellplex come to Batman and Superman because there is an imp in the Fifth Dimension that is killing off all of the heroes
in the Fifth Dimension.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like they're killing off the Green Lantern might, Wonder Woman might, and Flash might, and all the mites.
There's a reason for that. I'm just kidding.
No, it's not good.
I'm teasing.
They're fun. They're so much fun. And Batmite's the best of them all. Anyway.
Well, when we first see, there's a connection here because when we first see Superman take Lois to Esper, he's dying, so I'm going to show her everything and blah, 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 blah. And I'm Clark Kent and she didn't believe it and all this kind of stuff.
I like that. I thought that was funny when Lois she doesn't believe that Superman is Clark, and she actually berates Superman for pretending to be Clark Kent. And I found it funny and kind of charming in a way. I just actually liked that. I thought it was interesting.
It was interesting where I thought that they made Clark Kent a little bit more of a bumbling, how he played Clark Kent, a little bit more of a uncoordinated kind of guy that things just kind of happen.
Yeah, it's even more than usual. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't too bad because some of it was where he was actually pretending to be bumbling oaf, but he was actually saving people and that was funny. I did enjoy that. But so when he's showing Lois the place, he's like, oh, here's all my future Superman I can talk to or something weird like that. And you got the one who's bandaged up and it was like, this is the unknown Superman. I thought that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, what is up with that?
It's Hush, man.
Yeah, right. I wondered. And, but then they do
Superman.
Yeah, they do a reveal in the battling the Fifth Dimension monster. They do a nice reveal. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why is he talking to Jonathan Kent on his own? I said, that seems kind of weird, kind of a thing. But then they do a nice reveal. I'm not going to say anything now, but it was like, how cool was that? And kind of a thing. So I did like that part of the story.
Yeah, I like the betrayal of Jonathan Kent in here. It's your usual kind of happy-go-lucky Superman's parents type of story, and I like that. I prefer his parents to be that type of structure, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who I didn't like in this. I didn't like Jimmy Olsen at all.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
that was weird. He did a Jimmy Olsen. So everybody, what we're talking about here is Jimmy Olsen was playing like a.
I don't know what the heck he was.
I don't know what it was. He wasn't just your photographer kind of person and all. It's like, he had this. I got my direct line to Superman watch, with me, and he. I don't know. It was weird. It was like a new character, Jimmy Olsen, that wasn't just Jimmy Olsen, good friend of Superman, which they had a little bit of that in there, but also like, oh yeah, I can pretend to be this other super smart person for a day or something like that. And it was just that one didn't quite stick the landing for me. Openly.
Yeah, that could have done with a Steven skip right there.
Mm-hmm.
I just did not care for Jimmy Olsen whatsoever in this. And that's not to say that I don't like the character Jimmy Olsen. I do. I just don't like the way he was
This
portrayed
version.
this particular story. It just was not a good version of him.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we want to discuss in here? I love that Superman gives Lois Lane powers identical to his for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that, but at the same time, I wanted to see her do something with them.
Yes. Other than these other two lugs who come in going, I'm the biggest and baddest, strongest, babe. You need to go out with me. I was like,
Samson and who else was it? Samson and I can't remember who the other one was. I don't know. I kind of.
It was one of the other Greek gods or something like that.
I kind of got a kick out of that. I thought it was funny. And they're wanting to arm wrestle Superman for Lois
to go for a date. Yeah. For Lois and yeah.
I thought it was funny. And then Superman was getting pissed,
Right. I mean, I got the jealousy part and that was fine. I agree with you. I'd rather have what is she doing versus what is Lois doing with her powers versus what, just these other two guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I felt that way too. I would have rather seen Lois on some kind of adventure with Superman and where he and her had to battle something. I think that would have been much more better.
Much more better. Cheers, everybody. That was a good one. Yes. Sam said it was Samson and Hercules.
Hercules. Yes. Thank you. Why couldn't I think of Hercules? Yeah. Which was kind of
Hercules. Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. So anyway,
what did you like best in the whole series? What did you like the best?
I think I liked the whole Lois Lane part of it the best. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed her going to the Fortress of Solitude. I mean, I know we've seen that before, but this is kind of like fresh eyes. This is, supposedly her seeing it for the first time, so on and so forth. And I like the awe of she has for that and stuff. I thought it was funny that she was distrusting of him for a little bit, and I thought that was great. So yeah, I think the Lois stuff was probably my favorite in the whole thing. I think you could have had more Lois throughout the story, actually. Maybe they could have continued the whole Lois having the powers throughout it or something, and having like I said, having them battle together with the same powers. Now I think they are releasing a new book, recently anyway, where they're doing something like that. They're actually giving Lois the powers back, and she has the costume and everything. I'm kind of interested in that, so maybe we'll take a look at that after the Superman movie. We'll see.
For me, I did enjoy the Superman arc. In other words, it was the whole thing of him dealing with, he went to the sun. Now, all of a sudden Superman had new powers, everybody, which is cool. That pertained to the story. Like it was right. Kind of, here's what my new powers can do and stuff like that.
Sam says he's only got 2% charge left. So, all right. So thank you for joining us. Make sure to watch the rest of it later. And if you got any more comments, go ahead and either comment on this or comment on Facebook, one of the two. So,
appreciate you, Sam. Thanks so much for joining us. We had good interactions today.
Yes, thank you, Sam. It's always fun with you, Sam.
Yep. So I would say just that arc with him, and then plus the, knowing that what he was trying to do to prepare for him being gone and things like that, and just thinking which would be normal for people who knew that they were dying, or like, do I have a bucket list, or what preparations do I need to make for those that I love, and that kind of a thing. And I thought that was really good. Even so much so. Do you remember the scene with with the girl that was going to commit suicide.
Yeah. Actually, that was a good story. That
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
With Superman stopping her and telling her
Yeah.
it's going to be okay. We
Yeah.
all have issues. I thought that was good.
It was
that
good.
was well done.
Yeah.
A good message there. So
Yes.
maybe that's
Yeah.
kind of some of the hopefulness, because it's giving
Yeah.
hope to those who are distraught and
Mhm.
depressed and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. So
Yeah.
decent lesson there. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
So
go with
that was good and stuff. But I do think my favorite part was I really enjoyed the Superman squad. Just different Supermen, from different times, and it was a little. It's like my brain can't make the connection. I kept telling myself, Steven, it's a comic book. Just keep going.
Well, it's Superman stories, you can get it a lot into the Kryptonian side of things, and they have strange costumes, that all comes from like the sci-fi 50s, well, actually before that, because Superman came out in the 30s. So but you're
Yeah.
talking that early sci-fi look and stuff, and they still kind of keep that whole look, especially in this book.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it's like, okay, can we update the Kryptonians because they look weird, and I don't know. There's some of those themes that, yeah, you have to kind of go, okay, it's just comic book science stuff. Let's move on, that kind of thing. So I get it.
Well, overall, I think I guess we'll kind of go through kind of yes, there's the themes that you were talking about, the hope and that kind of stuff. But I do want to talk about like why it could be good for the hype that it got, and then probably why it's not good for the hype, if that makes sense. So we're going to
I agree with that topic, because like I said at the beginning, I've always heard this is like the pinnacle Superman story. And okay, so if we take some of the pinnacle Batman stories, like The Dark Knight Returns, I love The Dark Knight Returns. It's fantastic. It's probably
I love Nightfall.
Nightfall's great too, and I love The Killing Joke. These are fantastic stories that I believe changed the Batman universe forever. Okay. I don't see how this story does that for Superman. I just don't see it. Because obviously Superman doesn't. I mean, he doesn't die. We've had Superman all along. I personally think Death of Superman is much more better.
Death of Superman is a great series.
Yes,
I have mine down below in my crawl space below.
But also Death of Superman, we get a lot of battle because it's all battle, with Doomsday, and we got a new mysterious character. Doomsday, nobody knew anything about. He just came out of the blue. There was no explanation. It was just this killing machine that came to Earth and was just destroying everything in its path. And Superman, and to me, that was exciting. I freaking loved it. I mean, he took out the Justice League like there were nothing. That's excitement there, and I didn't feel the excitement in this story, So I just don't know if it lives up to the hype that I've always heard about this book.
Do you think it's not? Because Superman premiered in Action Comics, so it wasn't action oriented as much as it was.
Ooh, that's good.
From a philosophical point of view. With some action elements, like it was kind of reversed, like how people would interact with that one day. Lois Lane got her one day, Lex Luthor got his one day, kind of a thing.
I think that's a good look at this. I think I would have to agree with that because I'm more action orientated. I understand what some people might look at it from, Superman from a philosophical view, more And he does say at the end of the book that brains beat over strength, so on and so forth.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about
And
that. Yeah.
I understand that, and I agree with it to a certain extent. But
Mhm.
come on, you have the most powerful being in all of the universe.
Mhm.
I want to see him do something. It just seems like there was a lot of waste in this book. I mean, in this storyline, it just, to me, it fell flat. It fell flat. I thought it started off good, and then I felt it fell very flat. And then I was a little confused at the end, because at the end, spoiler alert, we get those two guys. I don't know who the heck they are, or no, it was a guy and a girl, I think, aliens and stuff, and then they reveal this big Superman symbol at the end, almost like, I don't know, they're holding a Superman behind a vault or something. It's like, okay, what's going on with that? I don't know. It was just strange.
Yeah.
I don't totally get the end of this book.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, we talked about what we liked about it, and now we're like, yeah, I mean, is it too philosophical kind of a thing, or is, rather than being just your action-oriented viewpoint of Superman, it dealt with more. So if you're someone who likes the thought or the feeling, the emotion, or the philosophical viewpoint behind the scenes, probably would not be a bad series for someone to read.
I guess, but I think you get a better balance of that in Batman, because Batman uses both brawn and brains.
Well, that was the one thing in this series that I was like, when did Superman become a scientist?
Well, I mean, there's always been that little kind of...
but that was using Kryptonian technology kind of a thing,
Sure.
but not necessarily the, hey, Lois, I worked up, ta-da, this vial of super juice kind of a thing.
Well, I would argue that that's still Kryptonian, science.
Okay, fair enough.
Kryptonian comic book science.
but I will say it is kind of funny, the whole, I'm sorry, ladies, if some guy comes up to you in a bar and says, hey, babe, I got this super juice for you, what are you going to do? Really? What are you going to do? You're like, no, you're not spiking my drink. I'm out.
Get away from him.
Right?
Get away from him.
Right.
Yes. Don't go anywhere near this guy, especially if he tells you he's Superman.
You're right.
Run quickly. And if somebody comes up to you, vice versa, and says, I'm Batman, I would suggest running too.
Right. Hey, want to know my secret identity?
Oh, Lord, this is going into really territory here. I did not expect this episode to go here.
It is okay.
So ultimately, I really think this book, in my opinion, falls very short. I don't understand the fascination with this story so much.
Yeah. Let's take a little different viewpoint on this, and we can give our scale here in a minute. But I kind of want to. Is it worth reading if you have the DC app? Is it worth reading or having as part of your collection? So buying it versus reading it on the app, or just watching a discussion on it like we're doing, like Variant Comics kind of does. Variant does all kinds of great reviews on different comic series and stuff. So you're paying for your ads.
In my opinion, it's worth reading on the DC app. Definitely. I mean, you're already paying monthly, so read books.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I would recommend it if you're a big Superman fan. Sure. I mean, and you have the DC app, I'd say read it. My opinion, I will not be going in. This is not a book that I got excited about and then I got to run down to the comic book store and pick up a trade.
Okay. That's good insight. Okay.
But that's just me, because I didn't think it's as good as people have made it out to be. Now, that also being said, I still kind of want to see the animated movie of it, because I'm wondering if maybe they cut some of the fat in the movie.
Oh, it made it more lean, like
Yeah.
a quicker storyline or a better storyline overarching.
And maybe it
that's
moves
interesting.
better as a animated film than it
Yeah.
does comic book, which is weird because generally the comic books are much more better.
Nah, cheers. And so this one makes you wonder if it's the opposite.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it is. So there's part of me that wants to see it. I just don't want to pay for it.
Right.
I didn't say that though.
When did it come out? That's interesting.
It's been out for a long time.
Hmm.
Now I have a Superman movie, animated movie in my collection. It's called Superman Unbound, and that's a Brainiac storyline. And I've never read the book, but the animated movie, it's been a long time since I watched it, but I remember really enjoying that particular story. I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this became the pinnacle Superman story. I don't see it. Somebody, if you're a big fan of this storyline,
Oh yeah, I would love to hear from you. Get your
yeah,
input.
I'd love to hear your opinion and let us know why you like it so much. I'm not saying you're wrong for liking it. I just don't see it. That's all.
Yeah.
Again, it does not measure up to Batman: The Dark Knight, Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One, all those fantastic Batman stories. It just does not measure up, in my opinion. And I would love to see a Superman story that measures up to those Batman stories. I mean, if you got suggestions, give them to me. I'm not the biggest Superman fan. I like Superman here and there, and I love it when Superman's with Batman. Those are the things, And I guess that plays into my bias with Batman. I can say that I absolutely loved Superman and Superman 2 in the 70s when I was a kid. Those were fantastic movies. That was a magical time, the movie that will make you believe that man can fly. And yeah, it did. That was an incredible time. It was an incredible film. Do I see flaws with it today? Sure. I see flaws with it. But man, some of the imagery in those films is just iconic. Like the scene when I don't remember if it's Superman that gets thrown into the sign or if Superman throws Zod in the sign. I forget which, but they get thrown into the big Coca-Cola sign, and it's just it's like, wow, it looks incredible.
Right.
Yeah. And then the whole kneel before Zod, that was great. Give me that.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want Superman fighting Zod.
I thought I saw, was it a meme that Three Geeky Dads put out? And it was saying the perfect cosplay does exist. And it's three people who are dressed as Zod and the other three, like in their, they got a thing where it's the Phantom Zone and all.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, everybody, we're wrapping it up. So Mike, if you had to give it a scale, how would you know it?
Oh yeah, what are we using for a scale for this? Let's see.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I don't know. Lois Lane Superwoman's?
Sure, why not?
Let's go with it. Sure.
More for everybody. Hercules, you get one.
Oh, we did not even discuss the art in this. Who did I say did art for this?
Quietly.
Yeah, Frank Quietly did the art. No offense to Frank Quietly, but I don't like his style.
It's a style.
It's a style.
It's a style.
It's a choice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a style. It's not one I like, but it's a style.
Yeah. I guess I say that because I'm sure some people probably do like it. It's different. It's okay. You and I come from the Frank Miller, Todd McFarlane,
Jim Lee
style.
Yeah. I would have liked to see what
different.
Jim Lee could have done with this book. That would have been interesting to see his artwork with this. I might have liked it better if Jim Lee done it. Because the art just kind of turns me off a little bit.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought Superman.
I didn't think it was that
weird.
bad, but it wasn't. I'd give the art like a B kind of a thing. It wasn't too bad.
Give it a C-.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go as a C- on the art. So that being said, with the art, that the story just, in my opinion, just does not live up to the hype that it has gotten over the years. I have to give this 5 Superwomen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go right straight down the center.
Okay.
There are decent things in the book. There are good elements to the book, but overall, I don't think it's a great story.
Yeah, it's. I was going to give it a 7 out of 10. Superwomen, Lois Lane Superwomen.
You are more generous than I am.
Yeah, well, I think part of it was. I mean, I was looking at it from different points of view too. I mean, I didn't like the Bizarro portion of it. I know you did. I didn't. That's where I Steven skipped.
I didn't like the art style of the Bizarro. I thought the art style was strange. But I enjoy Bizarro. I enjoy him. I think he's an interesting character. So I like that. I just didn't like the art style of it. Again, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Or it's a
choice. And I'm sure there's some people out there that really like it, and that's okay.
No, that's fine. It's not my cup.
It's not for you. Yeah. Yeah. But I still gave it a 7 out of 10 just because I was like, okay, there's some interesting themes in here that I could go with. I did like the surprise of the unknown Superman, the Hush Superman. We should call him Hush Superman.
Hush Superman.
I did like that reveal. And boy, it's made me think. I'm like, my goodness, what could that entail for future stories?
Sure.
And I didn't enjoy that. The Fifth Dimension stuff was kind of weird. I was like, all right, I get what you're trying to do, and it was okay. But there were some aspects of it that I didn't like the Jimmy Olsen. I was right there with you on that one. I was like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
That just seems so weird for. Except for the
didn't
point where
feel like any Jimmy Olsen I've ever,
right. Agreed. It just seemed like it was a whole new character, not that just happened to be named Jimmy Olsen.
Right. Maybe it would have been better if they would have just said he was a different character and not said it was Jimmy Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, kind of thing. But anyway, so that's me. 7 out of 10. Mike's 5 out of 10. So that gives you an average of 6 out of 10. It's worth, if you already own the DC app, or excuse me, you're buying the DC app, then it's worth the read just to say you've read it. I won't read it again, kind of a thing. Been there,
I won't either. Yeah,
kind of a thing. Been there, done that.
It's no Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller wins again.
So, how do you think this leads up? I thought originally we were doing this because I thought there was some. I presumed that there was something for James Gunn stuff.
I heard rumors that James Gunn used this book as some inspiration to the new film. Granted, I haven't seen the new film, so I don't know what's in it, but I can't imagine.
We've seen the trailers, and it's hard to get the trailers to help us think if there's anything.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we can't have Superman dying in the first movie of the new DC era. That seems ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So it can't be that portion of the story. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what he was using, and maybe it's just he likes this book, and and I don't know. That's the reason he wanted to do Superman, because he enjoys this book, which I think he could have picked better stories, but
right.
That doesn't give me a lot of hope for this movie.
Yeah,
I told you the bar's already low for this movie, but
yeah,
I do want to see it though. I do want to see it. I hope it's really good. I hope it's super.
I see what you did there. Nice.
I hope
very well done.
I do like the fact that Crypto is going to be in it. That's cool. Oh, that was another thing I did like in the book. we had
Mhm.
that montage with Crypto, and then
Mhm.
Superman pulls out that big tree and plays fetch with Crypto. I thought that
Yeah.
was fun. So
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was fun. See, I like
Yeah.
Crypto.
Yeah. Maybe
But I
that's
like,
what he'll do. He'll do that whole scene where he takes a tree and throws it out into the universe, and Crypto
you
has to
know,
fetch it and get it back.
of course, then again, the Crypto he's got, it looks like his mouth wouldn't be big. His Crypto seems too small for Crypto, but we'll see.
Yeah.
He doesn't look bad or anything. He just, I imagine Crypto being a bigger dog, more of a lab, or, well, it couldn't be a German Shepherd. That'd be Ace. That would be Batman's dog. So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to see Batman's dog live action too. I want to see Ace,
Nice.
Bat Hound.
We have not had him yet. That's a good point. No one's put him in yet.
Yeah, I don't think we ever will. It just seems silly, but it's fun in the comic books. I like it in the
Yep.
comic.
Yep. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us here today on Two Geeks and a Microphone. So happy you're here with us. If you would like to, please check out our website at www.twogeeksmic.com.
That's
www, the number 2, GEEKSMIC.com. And there's our hub. There you can get to everything through our affiliate sponsorships, like we mentioned earlier with Podbean. Live Bearded is our new one, and which is really nice. And please check that out as well. But also you can get to our merch page from there. We just have some fun t-shirts and stuff like that are in there. And if you want to help support the show in some way, but you can get there through the website, or you can go directly to twogeeksmicmerch.com. So that's www, the number 2, GEEKSMICMERCH.com. But also from our main website, you can go to where you can support us directly at kofi.com/2geeks, ko-fi.com/ the number 2 GEEKS. Cool thing about there is we've just got some extra stuff that's in there as well. There's a $1 tier, a $2 tier, and $3 tier. We don't make it super expensive, but we do appreciate your support and help. And with that, Mike, is there anything else that we need to chit chat about?
Just that if you made it this far, make sure and go like us on Facebook. Well, like us on all of our socials, YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Facebook. And Facebook, I try to post sometimes funny memes, sometimes different information about the show, such as when we go live. Speaking of going live, we go live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest because I don't like math. Bam.
Whichever time zone you're in, everybody. I'm in Mountain Time Zone, so I have to do the math all the time.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, what time is that for Steven? Oh, wait, he's ahead of me. So,
right.
It's really fun when we got somebody who's the other, Pacific time, and then we got to go across all three of them. Yeah. That's
I don't think we've done all 4 time zones just yet. We've done 3. And
we've done 3, but not that I know that we've done 4.
And we've had oh gosh, what's his name in England? That was
yeah. Well, we've had England, and we just had Christian on last week, and Christian's is he in Italy?
Or no, remember
France.
Where he was.
No, he's in France.
So today's the last day for his Kickstarter, everybody, too.
Yes, and I need to find out about the drawing for that too. So you got a little time if you want to get in on the drawing to win Christian's book. Make sure and go comment on either the Facebook any of the Facebook posts about his Kickstarter from last week, the show we did last week, Punk Droid 2. Mm-hmm. So look for anything Punk Droid 2 on Facebook, or you can comment on the YouTube video or Rumble. I mean, we're on Rumble too, so if you're commenting over there, we will put you in the drawing and let you know who wins. So,
yep. Right on. Okay. Mike, is that it?
I think that's it. So, do not Steven skip this episode because we are much, much better than much more better than the rest. Up, up, and away. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.